Real estate recruiting in 2025 is changing forever, and if you do not know what you are doing to attract more high producing, motivated, and hungry agents, you are going to be left behind, and the people that actually know what they're going to be doing are going to go ahead and thrive and prosper. Long gone are the days where you can go ahead and pick up a phone and cold call agents, cold email, LinkedIn request, and do all of the old school methods, because that, my friend, is going to turn you into a commodity. In today's video, I will be sharing with you exactly why you must pivot to succeed as a real estate recruiter or agent attractor. I'll be covering why the old school and outdated methods are dead, like the cold calling, like the cold emailing, like doing the direct approach one-to-one in person. It is not scalable, it's very expensive, and most importantly, it makes you seem like you are needy and chasing agents. I'll be covering the different types of recruiting strategies that are present for brokerages and teams, and the slightly different pivots you got to make if you're trying to recruit to your downline. So there are different approaches, and I'll be covering everything you need to know to succeed in 2025. Really, the main focus I want to get at is how do you pack your calendar with agents every single day and have too many agents to speak to, at the same time, how to do so in a way where your marketing doesn't get too expensive and you do not bleed money on the acquisition of agents every single month. So why should you listen to me? So my name is Prav Mangit, and on this YouTube channel, I like to share all of the latest and greatest strategies on how to pack your calendars with motivated and ready to go agents that are looking to partner with you at your organization, and also do so in a way where you don't lose money in the process. And as a byproduct of doing a lot of the stuff that I do, I work with some of the biggest agent attractors in the industry, people that you see on your newsfeed constantly. I'm not going to name anyone, but some of our clients have thousands of people that they've attracted into their organization. It could be a brokerage, a team, or a downline. Till date, we've helped dozens and dozens of agent attractors completely change their lives when it comes to recruiting more agents, and also doing so in a way that is compliant and extremely scalable. So there's really two types of agent attractors or recruiters. One is the brokerages and teams, and one is people that are at a revenue share or downline brokerage. Now look, the approaches are more or less the same, but there are slightly different rules that come. And when it comes to brokerages and teams, you actually have it easier. So I mean, if you watch this video, you're in for a treat, but that doesn't mean that if you're at a downline brokerage, you're also at a disadvantage. So a lot of these things have their own advantages and also their own disadvantages. I mean, one of the biggest clear disadvantages and advantages to both people is that, for example, if you're at a downline brokerage, you can recruit pretty much internationally, right? If you're at the local brokerage, a brick and mortar brokerage, chances are you are going to be capped at the initial levels just locally, right? That doesn't mean there's anything inherently bad to it, but your total addressable market size is smaller. And again, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to pivot and how to scale with all these conditions. So stay tuned. So the way I will be covering this is I'm going to really break it down into like sort of a marketing, and then the sales, and then also the fulfillment level. So like when it comes to most businesses, right, they have really three big departments. You have the marketing, you have the sales or conversion, and the fulfillment, right? So, and when people say like, oh, my company is different, my business model is different. I mean, if you take a look at most businesses, they really fall into these three big categories, right? And you as a brokerage or even someone trying to recruit their downline, you are still a business in the end of the day, and you got to treat it as a business to really make the best return. So the way I'll be explaining this is I'll give my spiel on brokerages and teams, and I'll intertwine some of the different things you got to do if you were a downline attractor. Because when it comes to downlines, if you're trying to grow your downline, you have some rules that you cannot, that are actually going to inhibit you from doing some of the things that maybe a brokerage can do. That being said, you do have some other advantages, but if it's a brokerage, you have some rules that are working for you. So if we just talk about brokerages and teams first, I mean, you can do a lot of outbound prospecting, and you can actually do it in a way where you are not involved as a sole recruiter or the founder of the brokerage, and you can actually outsource and delegate and automate a lot of these things. So when it comes to like a recruiting strategy, right, we want to talk about marketing first. So whenever you're trying to scale any business, you always want to go marketing first, then you want to do sales, and then you want to do fulfillment last. It's a sequence. A lot of people mess this up. So we talk about marketing. The number one goal is to fill up our calendars with motivated and hungry agents. You can do this with inbound and outbound. Most people have never really done inbound correctly, or they haven't done it at all. They only just focus on outbound. Now, outbound, it works, but only if you do it at a numbers way, right? So you just play the numbers game. But then again, that's not what you actually want to do, right? You should keep on doing outbound, but you should do it in a way where people are coming to you for a different reason other than just your brokerage off, right? And this is how you start to, step out of that commodity, right? And a lot of brokerages right now and the offers they have are just competing with one another as a race to the bottom. And most people here are just commodities. And you don't want to be a commodity because it is a race to the bottom. And unless you're the cheapest brokerage, which is not really a fun place to be in, there's no real benefit to being the second cheapest brokerage. There's actually a benefit to being a premium brokerage, but it's never a benefit to being a second cheapest option, because you're always going to be beat by the cheapest option. The main thing I want to cover here is if you are a brokerage, right, you need to have an outbound strategy and an inbound strategy, but that outbound and inbound strategy should go to a very simple funnel, right? So the outbound way and the inbound way, these are just two traffic sources, right? These are just ways to pack your calendar. But for agents to actually book themselves on your calendar, what you really need is an offer, and you need to have a way to present the offer. The way to present the offer is a video sales letter. The video sales letter is a sales letter, right? So what they say is to convert anyone, right, you want to have a sales message or a sales letter, right? And this sales letter, I'll be giving some examples is later, but like basically people come in and watch this, and the sales letter would do a lot of the selling for you, and it would teach the person, most importantly, it's educationally, it's a focus on education, give them value, and at the end make an offer to book a call, right? And the book a call is really to work with you, right? And then the next thing is going to be sales. But if we just talk about the sales letter, you got to have a sales letter first, and you also have to have an offer. That's the most important thing. And then when to drive the traffic, you can use outbound, you can use inbound. I'll be breaking down the outbound strategy that I've seen to work, and I'll also be breaking down the inbound strategy that I've also seen to work. That is for brokerages and teams. For downline attractors, you can still have this, and you should still have this, but there are some slight rules you have to understand, because you cannot run ads directly to your downline or your revenue share network. You have to have a little bit of a proxy. And what I'll really cover here, and a lot of our videos on our channel talk about this, is you can actually sell a digital product, an online course. So how do you even step out of being the commodity then? So what I have seen is you need to position yourself as an expert, right? Because when it comes to brokerages, right, like people come to brokerages and agents come to brokerages because they want to have a problem solved, right? And you don't just want to be the brokerage where people just hang their license up, right? You actually want to be a brokerage and a company where people actually come to get a specific problem solved and to prosper, right? And the way to really do that is to position yourself as an expert. Now, the word expert is derived from like sort of Russell Brunson and the ClickFunnels world, right? That's where I'm from, the online marketing world. But you want to be able to run ads towards your brokerage, but do so in a way where you are not just running ads to the brokerage, but something of value. So what I have seen to work extremely well is running ads to a video sales letter that educates the agent on how to grow their business. Now, when we talk about running ads to the video sales letter, that's going to be talking about Facebook and Instagram and social media ads, but the same approach should be done with outbound as well. So the way I look at it from a marketing lens, because we're talking about marketing right now, and I'll cover like the downline people, because it's not that much of a difference, is you want to drive traffic and eyeballs towards this video sales letter. You can do it with ads or outbound, and outbound can be cold email, LinkedIn, and these can all be automated and stuff and scaled. I'll get into the details later, but you can have cold callers as well. You can do social media. You can do in-person stuff as well, but you want to drive it to like the central funnel. And it goes to a video sales letter, right? So the video sales letter, I'm going to cover the video sales letter first and how the video sales letter works, because that's what will help you step out of that commodity seat. And then from there, I'll be covering like, how to market towards that, right? And then the next logical problem that's going to happen as a byproduct of running ads and marketing towards the video sales letter is it gets too freaking expensive. So I'll also be covering how to do that. But the video sales letter, right? So it's always a how-to training. So some examples is like how to pack your calendar as a real estate agent, how to add 1 to 2 deals a month, and how to add like 400K in GCI. Typically can be based off your top agent, and escape the real estate rat race by implementing a very unique strategy called the ABC method. I'm giving you guys an example right now, and that's a video sales letter, right? The video sales letter, that's the first couple of minutes of the video sales letter. So in the video sales letter, it could be 20 minutes to an hour long, and you present a training on how any real estate agent can grow their business. You do not mention your brokerage or how they can work with you until the last few minutes. That's where you present the offer. So in a video sales letter, the main thing is you give value and education, and then at the end we present an offer. So I start off the video sales letter by saying, here's how to do XYZ, or how to pack your calendar, add more closings using this very unique method called the ABC method. Someone's like, okay, what the heck is the ABC method? Then the next logical step in the video sales letter, you can make it on Google Slide, is like, here is John's story, here's Julian's story, here is Mary's story. And then they have all worked with, you, and you might have not actually helped them in the past with the ABC method, but from a marketing standpoint, we have to make sure we have a proper marketing, method, right? Because when it comes to marketing, it's something called a unique method, unique mechanism. That's what the word I'm looking for here, right? So when it comes to unique mechanism, right, people buy new and they don't buy improvement. So when you're coming out and saying to agents, especially in your local market, running ads, like here's this unique method called the ABC method, it sparks curiosity, and curiosity drives action. So when we talk about the video sales letter, we go back, we always say like, here's how to do this in ABC or XY. Here's how to do XYZ in ABC time frame, and then we start giving proof right away, saying here's a couple of agents have used this. Now you actually give them a reason to listen. That's exactly what I did in this video right now, right? I said, real estate recruiting, then I talk about myself, my credibility, and I'll work with some of the top agent trackers. So from that standpoint onwards, right? So once we've talked about the headline in the video sales letter, and then we talked about who has benefited by working with you, give case studies, then you want to give a training. A training typically is like 3 to 4 steps. So if I'm like an agent and I'm like, wow, I want to do 400K GCI, I want to be like those agents. Well, how does the ABC method work? And you want to break down the ABC method into 4 steps. So you'd be like, okay, first thing you want to do is you want to have lead gen solved. You want to have cold lead gen solved, and you want to have online ads running. The second thing is you want to have a way to convert those leads into appointments. The third thing is you want to do is you want to scale that, and you want to outsource, delegate to a virtual assistant. The fourth thing is you want to have a referral marketing system. These 4 steps will allow you, Mr. Agent, Mrs. Agent, to scale and transform your real estate business. And they're like, wow, that was really valuable. This was really good. Now, as a form of reciprocal altruism, they're gonna be like, okay, I want to work with this person. Then now at the end of the video sales letter, you can say, okay, well, now you got value. You can do this yourself. Hopefully provide you some value today, or you can work with me. And obviously you want to work with you. So at the end, you say, if you want to work with me, here is how it works. We have a program at our brokerage called the New Agent Jumpstart Program. The way this works is now you present your offer. You're going to get live coaching mentorship daily. You're going to get our lead gen accelerator program. You're going to get our sales training platform. You're also going to be getting our brokerage insurance and blah, 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 whatever, incentives you have, right? And then you say, if you're interested, book a call with our team to learn more, to see if you even qualify for this, because it's only for a select few agents. So now the power is back in your hands. You don't seem like you're chasing, you are attracting. And that's a good place to be in when it comes to attracting, right? So now they're booking calls, and then they're showing up on your calendar. Now that's with ads. You can now do the same thing with cold email, and you can start sending cold emails like, hey, I know you're an agent in the city, and we have a unique approach that helps agents with the ABC method. You almost are like a lead gen company or coaching firm, but that is what, think about it, that's what actually works. There's a reason why, I was running ads for the longest time from a company before this company. We were a lead gen firm. We sold on 1,000 real estate agents. We are a multi-million-dollar company. Now, again, like we were sort of a brokerage in a way. We were helping agents, right? We were helping them with lead gen. We were helping them with appointment setting. We were helping them with mindset, coaching, business advice. A lot of the stuff we were doing was a lot of the brokerage stuff. Obviously, we were doing all of it, but the same approach sort of applies for you too. And if you can start to now, I'll always recommend solving ads first, because that's the most scalable strategy. That's also the best strategy because it's attracting. It's not chasing people. Outbound is okay. It still works, right? It's more of a number strategy, but there's a lot of nuances for outbound too. You got to solve cold email. You're going to have automations. And then even if you're doing cold email as well for agents, you want to warm up your email accounts. Make sure you don't sign up in spam. Then you want to do cold LinkedIn and LinkedIn automation. And a lot of LinkedIn automation tools suck, but like I have a unique underground one that I use. It's only for coaches and consultants and like online people, but I give access to all my brokerages as well for that. You can have cold callers, but you also want to have a cold caller that ideally is cheap and very sustainable, scalable. I use a company called No Accent Callers. Let me know if you're interested. I could put a link down below, but they have callers from Egypt that have literally no accent, and I've used it for all my companies and offers. And you can have that. Again, all they're just doing though, they're just like using the same methodology. Like, hey, we have a unique approach called the ABC method. You're not even mentioning you're a brokerage. Again, that's like the little bit of a contrarian approach that you want to be following, because then you step out the commodity hat, right? Like, here's the way I look at it. You're in the game of helping agents, and the brokerage is just the way you help agents, right? And within the brokerage is a way, specific process that you have, but you don't want to market the product. Like the product is a brokerage, but the thing is, like, when it comes to marketing, right? You don't want to market the product. You want to market the benefits, and you want to market what the product actually can help you do. A lot of people just like sort of market like the brokerage, and that's not a good place to be in. So that is how you pack your calendar and you can have agents, like, and that's already a really good place to be in. If you can just solve that, I mean, this video already probably provided you a lot of value just in that sense. But I want to quickly take a pivot into the downline people, and then I'm going to talk about how to make this all profitable, because again, like the profit and doing this profitably is a very, very important thing, because you can lose a lot of money. I mean, ads are expensive, outbound's expensive, and you want to be running a churn and burn factory. That's what a lot of brokerages do. They run a churn and burn factory. They might recruit people and they might just cold call them all. They didn't even run proper ads, and then they don't have a proper way to recoup because they're waiting for the client or the agent to actually start producing, if they ever do produce. And it's always a churn and burn factory. And if you're trying to like exit your brokerage one day, no one's going to buy your brokerage if you're churn and burn factory. It's all about retention, right? Anyways, I digress. I want to talk about the downline people. So the downline people, I mean, you can't really run ads to your downline. That's a rule at pretty much every downline brokerage or revenue share brokerage. I know that not every revenue share brokerage has a downline because, like, you know, they have a different culture, right? So the main thing though is you want to have influence, and the same approach applies. You still gotta have your video sales letter, you still gotta have ads running towards it. But the benefit for you is you can run ads everywhere. You can run ads all over the nation, and you know, you can start pretty much do that for a brokerage too if you have a lot of applications. But you know, for a downline person, you can do that. And for an agent attractor, right, a lot of our agent attractors have actually sold online courses and then digital products and use that as an approach, as a proxy to bypass the recruiting rules and do so in a way that's ethical and provides value and it's compliant. And also some of them have actually gone ahead and made 300 grand in a month just selling digital products and also attracting agents at the same time. So they're getting paid to attract. That's a benefit. Now again, like, I get some brokerages, you can't actually be like, hey, look, you can't be like, yeah, I'm gonna give you free coaching or lead gen if you join my downline. You can't do that, right? So when it comes to that, you just sell the online course first, you provide value, and you also make a lot of money. But now the person already buys into you, there's no like and trust, and then they partner with you. There's a reason why the top agent attractors at the downline brokerage or revenue share brokerages are coaches and consultants. There's a reason. It's not a coincidence. You want to model the top. So that is that. Another question happens like, okay, I can attract agents, I can keep my calendar, but I don't want to lose money. So this is the bypass, right? Some of our clients, the downline side, what they will do is they'll charge for online courses or product. They'll charge, you can also charge an onboarding fee, right? But when you're in your video sales narrative on the downline side, you want to be like, hey, look, like, instead of saying like, buy my online course, you would say you can work with me. And that gives you a lot of different, you know, variations you could do on the actual call, the recruiting call, right? You can sell the online course. You can give a combination of a discount if they join your downline, right? You can do a lot of different things, like, and that's only if your brokerage allows that, right? But you can sell that, right? And you know, that's the way I always recommend is like, because that actually sustains the funnel. You get paid. That's if you want. That's for the online coaching courses side, for the digital product side, for agent attractors at downline brokerages or revenue share brokerage. That's the way I recommend, right? That's how you sustain this economically, because you don't want to lose money. You can be my guest and do this without any recoup of cash, but then you're waiting for the agent to start producing. You can give it all for free, but then how are you going to outspend the competition? And that's the only way to win anyways. If you're a brokerage, the way you do this is you have like more of a self-sustaining reverse recruiting funnel. And more or less the same thing, but on the call, which I'll talk about next of how to actually conduct that call, you want to make sure you charge at the end of it as an onboarding fee at the very least, or you can charge and you want to offset the cost of marketing. So if you actually like do the math on your brokerage, how much it costs you to get an appointment. And we give a lot of our clients, like, you know, the tracking mechanisms. It costs like $100, $200 for an appointment. For a showed appointment, $300 or $400. So you can do the math. If your closing rate and getting an agent to convert with you is like 20% or 25%, some people might be higher. You might be losing a few $100 to $1,000 every single time you would recruit an agent. And it gets more and more expensive as you scale. So you want to make sure you offset this so you can actually not like, you know, lose your mind while you're recruiting and lose sleep at night, because you want to make sure you profit while attracting. That's the best way to attract, right? It's like called agent finance acquisition, right? But on the front end, so you don't lose money. So when you do this, right, what I've seen is most brokerages that are some of my clients, they'll charge a onboarding fee to offset. It could be $500, $750, or it could be $1,000, whatever it is, right? And then on the back end, you know, like they'll go ahead and like, you know, fulfill upon that. Now you obviously might be asking like, well, how do I charge an onboarding fee? Well, you want to have an offer. You're charging for the offer, right? You're not charging for just the brokerage. You're charging for the offer that the brokerage fulfills upon, right? And I'll talk about the offer shortly here, but you want to have an onboarding fee at the very least. You can actually just go ahead and do the same thing that some of my downline people do, which is like they charge an online course, a digital product, and that becomes part of your brokerage offering. You can do that, right? But that is up to you. That's why at the brokerage level, you have a lot of flexibility in what you want to do, right? Because not everyone wants to sell an online course, digital product at a brokerage, right? It just depends on you. But at the very least, charge an onboarding fee so you can actually sustain the economic unit case of this, right? If you are confused about how to actually charge for this, you want to have that's why I say, like, you know, the video sales letter has to have an offer. The offer is what agents are buying from you. And the offer is a combination of how you're going to help them, the deliverables. Maybe you're giving them online course access. Maybe you're giving them in-person coaching, training, benefits, incentives. And that is the offer you're charging for, right? And I think a lot of people, the biggest mistake they have at the brokerage level, they think they're not in a place to charge. And that's what holds you back. I mean, they always say character traits, skill sets, and beliefs hold people back. And this is the belief that holds a lot of people back. In fact, a lot of our clients have this belief coming in. And when they shift this belief, their whole life changes. So I know I covered a lot there, right? But this offer is what you are really charging for. And that's why agents are booking on your calendar anyways, right? You need to position yourself. And like, I always I'll have a whole different video on how to structure an offer. If you guys are interested, comment down below. But this offer that you are actually, going ahead and talking about agents about, it should sort of be like how a lead gen company presents their offer to you. So, we're going to give you lead gen, or we're going to at least teach you how to do your lead gen. We're going to give you leads. We're going to give you social media coaching. We're going to give you our videographer in-house. We're going to give you your brokerage insurance policy. We're going to give you benefits. We're going to give you office access. And we're going to give you this. We're going to give you that. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you a mentor assigned for you. All this for just $500. So you want to stack the offer, and that can be done on the sales call or the recruiting call. I call it sales because recruiting is, or attraction is sales, right? That's all it is. You're demonstrating value. And if you want to show to the agent there's an absence of value, and if you work with them, you'll fulfill upon that value, still get to the end state. But in the end of the day, that's the marketing. So I know I talked about a lot there, and you might have to rewind it, but that's a marketing. That's a little bit of a difference with the agent attractor side and the broker side. I think at the broker side, you have a lot more leeway, especially when you can do outbound and everything. Because I know at most downline brokerages, you can actually do outbound. And even if you can only do it yourself. And that's what everyone else is doing. So you're a commodity anyways. So that is that for the marketing. I know I was going to give you guys a lot of value in this. So if you guys are getting value, subscribe below, like the video, comment down below. But I want to talk about sales and the actual what to say on the call. So, when it comes to recruiting, I like to apply a lot of contrarian methodologies and outsider principles to, the stuff I talk about. So when it comes to recruiting, what you're doing is you're solving a problem. That's it. When an agent comes to you, they have a problem, they show up for the call for a reason. So obviously on the call, you want to make sure you have the highest likelihood of them actually attending the call. So reminders, you want to make sure that they want to book a call, you actually have them in email drips and automations and sequences. You have all that stuff solved. And then from there, right, then and only then, they actually have a high enough chance of showing up. Then on the call, you always start off the call with like, hey, awesome, man. How was your day? How's your weekend? You set the report. Then you'd be like, okay, so tell me, like, what's the biggest challenge you're having? You always want to talk about what's the biggest challenge you're having. And they'll talk about it because people move with pain. So you talk about that, you write your notes down, and you always do it in a Zoom call, not on an. I always recommend doing a Zoom because it's scalable. Because if you use what I talked about in the marketing segment, you'll have way too appointments, and you can do them in person as well. But I always like doing Zoom call first. But anyways, you always want to talk about where they at, where they want to get to. So you ask every single recruiting conversation or just sales call. I'm just going to refer to it as sales call because you are selling a product at the end, which is for you. Could be your product, is your brokerage. It could be your downline. It could be your revenue share network, whatever it is, right? But you want to say, where are you at? Where do you want to get to? What's holding you back? You always want to ask him in the discovery. It's like, tell me, John, how many closings did you do last year? Where do you want to get to this year? And in your own honest opinion, what do you think is holding you back? And what have you done right now to grow your business? So you always want to ask him the questions. And then you want to say, got it. So once you get the discovery phase out of the way, you want to say, okay, well, just to confirm, you are here, you want to get to here, right? And this is why you haven't been able to get there. They say yes. And I say, okay, would you be open to hearing more about how I can help you? They said, yes, tell me more. Now you present your solution. This is where you actually have a pitch. And we teach our clients how to do this for brokerages and for downlines. But it's like, so here's how we help out agents like yourself at our company. We do step one, we're going to help you have a roadmap and have a business planning session. The step two, we're going to help you is we're going to set you up an online lead gen system that, you're going to get exclusive leads. Step three, we're going to help you get those leads, turn them into appointments. Step four, we're going to help you hire a virtual assistant. Step five, we're going to give you coaching and support for some of our top agents on a weekly basis, right? Step six, we're going to give you transaction coordination, insurance. We're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, we're going to give you this benefits. So John, where do you want to go from here? And now you actually go for the close. So now we've done the qualification, and then we actually presented them the pitch of how they're going to help them. And now they're going to be like, okay, I want to work with this person. And you say, well, where do you want to go from here? Well, they're just like, how do I join? That's a great place to be in. And that's called a one call close. Be like, hey, well, what I can do is get you onboarded right now. Now to get started, for everything I mentioned, what we do is we charge an onboarding fee of $500. And you sit there in silence. Like, sure, let's do it. And a lot of people overcomplicate. They sit there in silence, right? So I'm not going to get into the details of how to do this on the YouTube video right now, but there's you can charge an onboarding fee. If they say, let me think about it, yeah, no worries at all. I'm just curious, what do you have to think about, right? Then they'll give you all the reasons, and you can handle the objection of the call. And then you always want to book a follow-up call. But sometimes you can just, I've actually seen a lot of our clients just onboard because they haven't actually presented their brokerage presentation in a way that was so structured, and it actually follows Socratic dialogue, and it actually follows like proper sales methodologies where people actually close themselves. They haven't done that, so they're surprised when people's like agents like, yeah, I want to work with you. But if in the case that they don't want to work with you right away, you want to make sure you have a follow-up call set with the time on the calendar. You address all their questions and you do a follow-up as well. And you also make sure you send them content and case studies and how your brokerage can help in the meantime as they are making the decision, right? That's how you do it, right? So again, like you have the marketing side solved, then you talked about the sales side, and then charging $500 is going to be helpful. For the downline people though, what I would recommend is you are selling a digital product first, because you can't really, run ads to your downline. So you do everything that I mentioned, but at the end you say, hey, where do you want to go from here? And then you say, well, how much is it? You could be like, I always recommend at the minimum charge you 1 to 2 or 3 create. Some of our clients have charged 6 to 8 grand. Some of our clients charge 12 grand, depending on what they're offering to the agent in terms of coaching, support, and mentorship. This outside of their brokerage. This is the online course they're selling or digital product they're selling. And the person's like, oh, I'm interested. I'll give you the credit card over Zoom. You'll pay. Or be like, let me think about it. And that's when they're like, hey, you know what? And then you start objection handling. And that's what a lot of our clients that, like, for example, a brokerage like EXP do, is they start objection handling. It's like, well, okay, let me ask you this. Does everything I mentioned to you make sense? And if I can just confirm, it's just the finances that are holding you back. And they say yes. And you say, would you be open to being resourceful? And, if I present you another solution where I can cut off a lot of this, would you be open to hearing more? And they say yes. Like, well, what we do is you have a VIP partnership program where if you partner up with us at EXP Realty or whatever brokerage you're at, again, this all is depending upon rules. I can get you all this for just this much. What do you say, John? And then they're going to close on that. Again, there's a lot of things you can do. And that's why I say on your video sales letter, especially the downline level, you want to keep it very vague, because then you have a lot of, leeway. But, honestly, like a lot of the times you don't have to like do this hard closing stuff, because you have already built so much, I would like to call it status delta with your marketing, with the online ads and like the funnels and the video sales that you already appear larger than life. So like the closing rate's already easy because they're coming to you. You're not going to them. It's already a good place to be in. So that's a sales conversation, right? And then charging for it, of course, is important, because now you just put that money right back into the marketing and keep doing more. And that's a rule. And, we've had some of our clients scaled us up to dozens and dozens of agents every single week they're speaking to. But some of them are actually made hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month if they're selling digital products. So when it comes to recruiting, right? Like what I talked about here is probably very new to you. It's very different, right? And it involves, not even positioning. It involves you doing something that you've never done before. And that's why it works, because you are now stepping out of the status quo. You're doing something completely different out there. And that is what I recommend for you, right? So, just to recap here, before I get into like the last part, which is like sort of fulfillment. The thing is I want to mention is like, when it comes to marketing, you want to have a way that people come to you, agents come to you, and you want to present them a solution and a way to grow their business. That's what agents want, right? And then you don't want to mention your brokerage or your downline or anything. And once you're on your calendar, then you have a sales conversation and you collect some form of cash at the end. That's optional, but it's highly recommended, because I've had clients spend, if you want to lose 3-4 grand a month on marketing, be my guest. But the thing is like, then, then you can't scale outside of your marketing budget. And I don't like to scale marketing with risk. I'm a marketer by trade. I like to really mitigate all the risk. Again, the strategies I talked about today, you don't have to go ahead and charge for digital product. You don't have to go ahead and charge an onboarding fee. That's up to you. But I just recommend it, right? So the last thing is, now obviously when agents are coming on, you have a fulfillment component. So if you're selling an online course, digital product, you should, have a fulfillment component. It's group coaching. It could be done on an online community. And then, we obviously give our clients at Agent Traction IO a white label fulfillment portal. So you can actually go ahead and not have to like learn everything. You can just give this to your clients to log in. It's already done in a white label unbranded format. And that's what a lot of our clients do. Same thing can apply for a brokerage as well. So on the fulfillment level, on the back end, I always recommend having some sort of group coaching format. You might already have some sort of variation of this at your brokerage already. But the thing is, I always recommend giving agents like online course area, group coaching calls, and then they're following their own curriculum, right? And that's a fulfillment side, because in the end of the day, you can recruit as many agents in the world, but if you're not helping them produce more and get better success in the real estate business, then you're going to be running a churn and burn factory, and that's not a good place to be in. So, folks, what we really talked about here today is, a lot of things, right? Obviously, we talked about marketing, we talked about, converting agents. And then, the thing is that a lot of this can be very overwhelming and difficult. And that is why, a lot of the content on this channel is really educational. But if you want to learn more about how we can help you, Either you want to set up a digital product or online course to, not only make a side income, but also recruit to your downline in a way that's actually ethical and compliant, and get paid to attract, we can help you out with that. If you're a brokerage or team leader that wants to recruit high quality agents that actually own the system and actually learn from people that are actually currently doing it, and actually being a network of some of the top agent attractors in the industry, because that's already a huge benefit, just a mastermind component, and you want to learn about how you can pack your calendar with agents that are hungry and not lose money on marketing, then you are in the right place. So if you're interested, obviously, first of all, subscribe, like the video, comment down below. But if you're interested in working with us specifically, you can go ahead and book a call somewhere below the video, right? And this can be description. Click that link, book a call, watch our content, of course, understand everything, and then you talk to one of our team members. They'll walk you through our agent attraction accelerator program. It is 16 weeks long. It is not cheap, but of course, it's not cheap for a reason, because it's very premium and it is very tailored to you. If you're interested in working with us, click that button down below, and that is pretty much it for this video. We'll be giving as much free value as we can every single week on just how to recruit more agents. And even if you don't work with us, we still want to pay it forward and give you a crap ton of value. So apart from that, that's pretty much it for this video. I really appreciate the time and attention, and we'll see you guys in the next one.